Hey everybody, this is Reggie Maddox from Revitalize. And today I want to talk to you about something, and this is probably a little more of an adult topic. Not saying that it's something that's degrading or something that's going to be, um, sexual in nature. It's just more of a talk, it's something that adults deal with, which is divorce. Um, I'm not ashamed to say I have been divorced. Well, I am divorced. I went through a divorce. And it's a tough thing. It is a very tough thing, especially when kids are involved. And it can get nasty. And I will say mine's got really nasty. But, it's one of those things to where, wow, memories coming back. No, the divorce is something that it happens. I mean, I don't think it's something that couples initially plan or want to happen. I think that when people get into a relationship, um, it could be just things weren't fully discussed. Maybe the length of time for getting to knowing each other, or people weren't really honest about what they was looking for or wanted out of a relationship. I think a lot of times people don't really share enough about themselves when they get into a relationship, especially let's say marriage, because that's really what this is about. When you're getting into a marital relationship, it's totally different than dating, which we know it is. Marriage is nothing like dating. When you split, you split. Feelings are hurt, but it's not the same as a marriage. Because in a marriage, you went through the process of uh, meeting family members, having all these bachelors and bachelorette parties. You went through the process of, picking out rings and doing all the weddings and the dinner and stuff afterwards to celebrate this new marriage, this covenant that's supposed to last forever. And it may last a year or 2 years. So, you know, divorce is tough. But here's my point. Um, with everything that comes along with divorce, and this is really, really for the people who have kids. And I'm not just talking about two people who get together and have biological kids together. I'm talking about men and women who come into relationships where one person has a child or children, and you're in that child's life for a particular time, and they come to know you as the parent. It's tough. And I think one of the hardest things that people seem to really find a way to work out is the fact that you have to find a way to be cordial, regardless of why you're getting divorced, regardless of the reasons for the divorce. If you have kids, you have to find a way to not degrade the father, not degrade the mother. You know, if you don't talk, that's fine. But the key thing is to take care of that child. But it is beneficial for the parents, for your health, that you don't allow all these angry, bitter emotions to linger, especially when you start carrying this stuff into a new relationship. Because it's very possible that, okay, you met someone, it wasn't the right person. But sometimes going through a bad relationship like that actually can prepare you for when you meet the next person who is going to be that lifetime partner. But you cannot expect your lifetime partner to stay with you if you're still harboring all this anger and bitterness for somebody else who's moved on with their life. They've met somebody else. They started a whole new family. But you're still angry and bitter about it. You don't want to do that. So you have to find a way within yourself to deal with that. And I understand, trust me, I understand. I've been through a divorce before. I have been through a nasty divorce. But you have to find a way to let that go and get that peace. Because if you don't let it go, you're going to find that you're never going to have happiness in your life. You're going to find that your relationships are constantly failing. And it's not because you're a bad person. It's just that you haven't let go of the feelings. You haven't let go of the old relationship. And you're trying to bring this into a new relationship. One thing you hear me talk about on the website especially if you look at the name of the blog, New Life, New Mind. If you want a new life, you have to have a new mind. That is so important. And that really applies to people who have gone through a divorce or is going through a divorce. You have to find a way to have a new mindset. You have to say, I went through it, it happened, it's over, it hurts, but I'm going to move forward because there's something better for me. There's something better for my life. There's someone out there better who's going to treat me better and stand by me. This is the right person for me. So you have to be willing to have a new life. To have that new life, you got to have a new mind. And trust me, if anybody understands the challenges and what happens in a divorce, it is me. So I'm speaking from the perspective of someone who has been there, done that. So I'm not going to go too much into detail, but I will later. But one of the things I had to learn is you got to let it go. You got to let it go. And if you don't have kids, because one more thing about the kids situation. If you're going through a divorce and you have kids, then you really need to just find a way to maintain that relationship with the children. I know it's hard because you may move on, but the wife or the husband may not have moved on. Because it was, whenever the heart is broken, it takes a while to mend. But you got to find that way to be cordial and be reasonable with each other. Especially if you got kids. The key thing is to ensure that those kids are raised properly, get the things that they need so they can be successful in life. Now, if you are single and you're going, or not single, you can't be single if you're going through a divorce. If you are going through a divorce and you don't have children, it's the same thing. You really need to find a way to be cordial and respectful to each other. You really need to find a way to where you break common ground. And trust me, I'm not saying that you need to be sitting down having dinner with each other Sundays and still hanging out. It just means that you don't need to be carrying that anger and bitterness in your heart and on your mind. You don't need your blood pressure went up. You don't need your health starting to fail. And that is the worst thing you want. The important thing is to take care of yourself. The relationship didn't work out. You tried for whatever reason, it didn't succeed. Now you know what? It's time for you to pick up, revitalize hope, and move on with your life. Because the longer you sit and dwell on what someone else did or didn't do, and it's been 6 months to a year ago, and the relationship is not getting back together, you're not accomplishing anything. You're not helping yourself. And it's the same thing. You can have the next person that's coming along in your life that's going to be that Mr. Right or that Miss Right. And that's going to be the person to really make you happy. But if you're carrying that anger and bitterness inside of you, then it's not going to work. You're going to push that person away. Then you're going to come out with the mentality that you hear a lot of people saying now, oh, I don't need a man, I don't need a woman. All women are bad, all men are bad. No, we just make bad choices. That's all it is. We're not really honest when we go into relationships sometimes. Then when we take it to the marriage level and the two lives become one, a lot of stuff start coming out because we weren't as open as we should have been. So there are some great guys out there. There's some great women out there. But the key thing is, if you're going through a divorce or you have went through a divorce and you're still harboring all that anger and bitterness, find a way to get some peace in your life and let that go. And it may not be necessarily the right time for you just to move into another relationship and go jumping from person to person because you feel like you need somebody. You probably need this time right now to clean yourself, clean your mind, clean your heart, get yourself fresh. So when that next person coming in, they don't feel like they're in the middle of 3 different relationships. Because they're in a relationship with you, but they're in a relationship with your past relationship. And you don't want to bring anybody into that. It's not fair to them. So, with all that being said, the best thing to do in life is find a way to release the anger. If you got to take yoga classes, meditation classes, you just got to find some way to make your mind productive in other ways. ways that's going to benefit you professionally and as a person, that you grow and be more and accomplish more and bring the greatness out of you that you can contribute to this world. And that person who's going to come along in your life, the next person, is going to be that person that's going to enhance that with you. They're going to inspire you to be that person. So if you're going through a divorce, hang in there. Try to keep your heart as pure. Try to be cordial. Try to be polite. But always revitalize that hope that there is something better in you and something better that's coming for you. Reggie Mattis,
the birds awakening the day. I love the rising of the sun and glow of its rays. Yeah, with a smile on my face, I'm floating on a cloud to win this race. You see, as a friend I'm here for you. You see, as a friend I'm here for you. Here I stand with you, wishing you the best in all you